Joel Long's book, Winged Insects, won the White Pine Press Poetry Prize. His book, Knowing Time by Light, was published by Blaine Creek Press in 2010. His chapbooks, Chopin's Preludes and Saffron Beneath Every Frost, were published from Elic Press. His poems have appeared in lots of places. He has poems forthcoming in Quarterly West and The Pinch. He received the Mayor's Artist Award for Literary Arts at the Utah Arts Festival and the Writer's Advocate Award for Writers at Work, and he teaches high school.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
And he still writes and submits and gets and he teaches high school. And he's in charge of city art. If you want to go down and see some great literature spoken, go to City Art in Salt Lake City at the library. Is it Wednesday nights?
Yeah, first 3 Wednesdays every month of the academic.
First 3 Wednesdays of every month of the academic year. Welcome, Joel Long.
I had to get up and get some water. That's all there was to it. Felt a little awkward standing there by the Coke machine, but nonetheless, needed. I'm going to start by. I was thinking about this, and Guy's pieces remind me of this. I've been talking about Antigone, and there's this. You've read Antigone, many of you. There are lots of weird little motifs of sex and death in that. You know, when Antigone is buried in the tomb, she hangs herself with her bridal veil, and her future husband in death, Haman, grabs onto her as in an embrace, and they die together. It's a weird scene, and you should look at it. So my poems are about sex and death. Right. So I'm going to try to end on sex, just for the fun of it. I'm going to read from Knowing Time from Light. The story of this book is this. There's a wonderful painter in Salt Lake City named Dave Hall, and he paints these landscapes actually from my home state, which is Montana, because he has a cabin up there. And there are these gorgeous landscapes that look like that, because that's his painting. And he got this idea that we should do a collaboration where I'd write poems to his paintings. And I had a great time last year because he would bring me about 12 paintings, and my house was like a gallery. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And, I'd go from room to room and figure out which painting I wanted to write on, and I would take it to my room, put it above my desk, and off I'd go. This cover painting became the title poem. It's called Knowing Time by Light. Land, let us know time by the angle light hits, sundial of hills and gullies, barb of the ridgeline, breath drop in shadow. Take enough distance inside to last the dark, blue-gray shade of hesitant cloud at the plain's edge, autumn cool. If land is flat, I spread directions, distance mined in feathers of earth, yellow, black iridescence, raven's tail. In this light, nothing is flat. I catch fissures and coulees, weightless, finding ground. Dusk, I relish its pulse, sky pressure pushing a cold palm, the half shell of silk blue catching intent, turning it vapor, brief atoms of joy. Nothing quiet here. Everything makes noise. Even stones beneath the field shift, take the body of evening, heavy as being, gilded, fringed with brilliance that makes me believe the heart of things, the kind of heft we can almost bear. I think that's death, and this might be sex. Only up close. Only up close do nettles come, the details, twig and needle. Only up close the breath of pine that makes the throat catch. Fog stifles, mouths of grain and bird stops texture from its rasp. Shuffle leaves in stillness if you must, unseen but woven and root. Do your best at ivory near the base of mist, little moons stretched out in mud. Nerves of the moon, find your way in dark, The mist informs you, teaches early to disappear, but closer again, closer, and the lash becomes clear. The laugh line that brackets the eye, soft M of the mouth, basin of sweet air, the pearl in the glacier lily. Look at what you can, touch the rest. Everything not gone yet, bless what is left. So this is my Antiques Roadshow poem. You guys all have one, right? This is mine. Do you know what a book of hours is? A book of hours is a book of poems that are set at various times during the day, and there are some gorgeous illuminated manuscripts that are books of hours, and this woman brought this book of hours to the Antiques Roadshow. It was just extraordinary, this little tiny thing with these gorgeous little illuminations. And this is coupled with a trip I took to Driggs, Idaho, where our friends have a cabin to see the parts. Rediscovered Book of Hours. On the Antiques Roadshow, the man wants to know what they're worth. 2 pages from a book of hours, small as a paperback from the thrift store, jeweled with the brushstroke of a nameless master. 1 panel, Christ entering Jerusalem, the expert explains, before Christ is accused, before he is sacrificed, the triumph of palm and exultation, the face of compassion hovering above the well-observed donkey. And the other, from a separate story, the death of the Virgin surrounded by apostles, the gravity of their sorrow. She is so still, after all, mysterious in death, always surprise, even to these so near the sacred, still living the limit of knowledge. Her beautiful face, a locked door. On a missing panel, perhaps the artist depicted her assumption, the imagined ascent having seen birds lifted by updraft, the way the sky towers in clouds and late light. But the remaining hour, the devotion here, she is dead, laid flat in her bed, beautiful but common, and they are common in their grief. The expert said there is some smudging of paint at key points where the supplicant has touched over and over some object on the page, the mantle of the Virgin, feet of Christ, the paint worn down to an underlayer where the painter, the painter intended to be hidden, unmodeled, swath of blue, drop of gold or red. They touched the image and said the prayer for the hour of the day. Which hour for death? Must it be dusk or the hour after? Could it be as simple as morning, wakened by the cry of sandhill cranes that vanish when I open the door? Could I say prayer as I rub my finger against her dress? Say, I trusted her death in the morning, so vast, the creek mending meadow with cool thread to the river we haven't seen. The car stirs dust on the dirt road like a zipper undoing the tail of a dust bird. Here is the missing page, I say, the unwritten prayer, unchanted by the acolyte, who has not lifted his hand to this particular light to touch the painted surface of these hills, the cutting swallows, sapphire wings, curved blades of the lesser moon, the wasp tapping its gut on the back of my hand. The missing hour needs new prayer, needs this object of devotion to rub our skin, the willow with its roots in water, red-winged blackbird chipping stones against blue. I am here to receive it, to chant in this hall of sky, incense of sun heat, chant to the center of the hour, the hinge and hub around which it flourishes and sustains. Chant to the center, the coldest water, too clear to see.